I, 21M, found a photo that changed everything. My mom is actually my aunt, and my aunt is my biological mother. Hey Reddit, I feel like my entire world has been turned upside down. And I don't know how to process it. I recently found a photo that revealed a secret my family has been hiding from me for 21 years. I need advice. I was raised by my mom, Margaret, 45F. She's always been strong and independent, and she raised me as a single mother. I never knew my father. Whenever I asked about him as a kid, Margaret would just say, "He wasn't someone I wanted in your life." Eventually, I stopped asking. One constant in my life other than Margaret has been Evelyn, 41F. She and Margaret met in college. And they've been inseparable ever since. To me, Evelyn was like an honorary aunt, not related by blood, but family nonetheless. She was always there for birthdays, holidays, and big life moments. I always thought she was just my mom's best friend, someone who cared about me like a nephew. That was until my 21st birthday, when I found a photo that made me question everything. Margaret and I were going through old boxes of photos and mementos, just reminiscing about the past. It was actually a really nice moment until I pulled out a picture I had never seen before. In the photo, Evelyn was in a hospital bed, looking exhausted but smiling. Margaret was sitting next to her in the bed, leaning in close. Evelyn was holding a newborn baby. Both of them were looking down at the baby with expressions I can't even describe: love, awe, maybe even sadness. It was an incredibly intimate moment. I turned the photo over, and on the back, in faded handwriting, it said, "Evelyn, Margaret, and baby Alex. May 2003. My heart started pounding. It didn't make sense. Why was Evelyn the one in the hospital bed holding me, and not Margaret? Confused, I held up the picture and asked, "Mom, what is this?" Margaret froze. Her face drained of color, and she just stared at the photo. I expected her to explain it away. Maybe say that Evelyn had been there visiting after I was born. But instead, her hands started shaking, and then, she started crying. Margaret never cries. She's always been my rock. The strongest person I know. Seeing her completely break down sent me into full panic mode. After what felt like forever, she finally whispered, "I think it's time you knew the truth." Turns out, Evelyn is my biological mother. Margaret is actually my aunt. Evelyn got pregnant with me when she was 19, during her sophomore year of college. The pregnancy was unplanned. And she was completely overwhelmed. She didn't have a support system, and she didn't feel ready to be a parent. Margaret, who was 23 at the time and already the responsible one, stepped in and offered to raise me as her own. They made a pact. Margaret would legally become my mother, and Evelyn would stay in my life as Aunt Evelyn. They thought they were making the best decision, for me, for Evelyn, for everyone. For 21 years, they never told me the truth. I felt like my entire world had just imploded. I didn't say anything. I just stood up and walked out. I barely spoke to either of them for days. I love Margaret, she's the only mother I've ever known. But I feel betrayed. My entire life I believed she was my mom. How could she lie to me for 21 years? And Evelyn, I don't even know what to think. She gave birth to me. But she let someone else raise me. I don't know what to do. I don't even know who I am anymore. How do I even begin to process it? I would appreciate some advice. Update. First, I just want to say thank you to everyone who commented. I never expected this post to get so much attention, but reading your advice has helped me start to process things. After ignoring Margaret and Evelyn for 2 days, I finally agreed to sit down and talk with them. It was intense. Margaret spoke first. She said she never wanted to lie to me, but she truly believed she was doing what was best. She told me, "I am your mother. I raised you. That doesn't change just because you know the truth. Evelyn was crying the entire time. She said giving me up was the hardest decision she ever made, but she thought she was doing what was best. She was young, scared, and felt like she had no other choice. I told them both, bluntly, that I felt betrayed, that I should have been told the truth from the start, that I had a right to know who I really was. Then I asked about my father. Evelyn hesitated but finally told me the truth. My biological father was a teacher's assistant at her college. It was a one-night stand, and when she told him she was pregnant, he wanted nothing to do with me. He signed away his parental rights when Margaret adopted me, and that was the last she ever heard from him. I asked if she knew where he was now. She said she could probably find out. But she had never tried. I told them I needed space. I packed a bag and have been staying with a friend. Second update. I met up with Evelyn alone for the first time since I found out. I told her exactly how I felt, that I felt abandoned. That even though she was in my life, she had chosen to stay on the sidelines instead of actually being my mother. She cried and told me she completely understood why I felt that way. She said she regretted not telling me sooner but was afraid of ruining my relationship with Margaret. She asked if I could ever forgive her. I told her, I don't know, not yet. Margaret and I also had a long talk. She was terrified that I was going to cut her off. And honestly, I thought about it, but at the end of the day, she's the one who raised me, cared for me, and loved me like a son. A piece of paper or a hidden truth doesn't erase that. As for my biological dad, after thinking about it, I realized I don't want to know him. He made his choice 21 years ago, and I don't need to open that door. Final update. After a lot of thinking, I've come to terms with something important. Margaret is my mother. Maybe not biologically, but in every way that actually matters. She raised me, loved me, and shaped me into who I am. That will never change. Evelyn, she's my biological mother, but I'm not ready to have that kind of relationship with her yet. I told her that I do want to build something with her, but it has to be on my terms and at my pace. She promised me she'll wait as long as it takes. As for my biological father, he's irrelevant. I don't need him. He made his decision years ago, and I don't need answers from someone who never wanted me. For now, I'm focusing on healing. My family may not be what I thought it was, but it's still my family. Thank you again to everyone who supported me. I don't feel so alone anymore.